The state of education in Israel is today among the worst in the developed world. If you take Israel and rank it in reading, math, science, and so on, compare it to the relevant 25 OECD countries, we rank below 24 of the 25. So on the one hand, we're cleaning up on Nobel Prizes because we have people who studied way back when, but today we're determining what the future will look like. And unless we get our act together, it's not going to be a good future. We need to get our act together today to get the kind of education that we gave once upon a time. It's basically changing the paradigm of what national security means. It's not just tanks and planes and battalions. It's getting a first world education to our children so they can support a first world nation, a first world society and economy. It's possible to do. We just need to get our act together and do it now.
Poor education are a real challenge in Israel, particularly in the peripheral areas such as the Galilee. Improving education couldn't be more important. Part of the access equation is our Opening Doors bursary program that has so far supported almost 6,000 students in giving them the financial support to attend college. One of these tremendously inspiring stories is in Chatzor.
קוראים לי מוריה בן חיים, אני לומדת לתואר ראשון במדעי התנהגות במכללת תל חי. המשפחה, במיוחד האמא, הסבא והסבתא, הם לא למדו, הם עלו ממדינה מאוד ענייה, שזה מרוקו. המלגה, משמעותה בחיים שלי בעצם זה שאני אוכל ללמוד ולא לדאוג לתשלומי שכר הלימוד, שזה מאוד מכביד על סטודנטים, במיוחד עם רקע סוציו-אקונומי, כמו שלי, שאי אפשר לצאת ללימודים אם אין לך הון התחלתי, פותח את הדלת ללימודים.
אני אורלי. אני גרה בחצור הגלילית. אני אימא של מוריה, בן חיים, ואת האמת, לא האמנתי שמוריה תגיע למצב שנמצאת בו היום. וחשוב מאוד מלגות, כי בלי המלגות היא לא תוכל ללמוד, אני לא אוכל לממן לה. במיוחד כשאני חד-הורית עם 6 ילדים, זה לא פשוט. אני רואה את העתיד של מוריה, שהוא יהיה גדול. ככה אני הייתי רוצה, ואני מאמינה שגם היא רוצה. שבעוד כמה שנים אני אשמע ויגידו לי, תגידי, זאת הבת שלך? מוריה בן חיים? שהיא תהיה שם ודבר במה שהיא. אני מאמינה שהיא תגיע לזה.
המלגה, אחד של מגבית בריטניה, מאוד מקרבת, בהחלט עוזרת להגשים את החלום, ללמוד ולפתח קריירה בתחום שבו אני רוצה לעסוק. זה מאוד עוזר.
Since the 1950s, the Jewish population of Britain has declined by almost a third. And in many respects, that understates it because it's being propped up by the demographic growth that's happening in the strictly Orthodox part of the community. So the assimilatory trend, if you like, is even more pronounced than the numbers suggest. I think the challenge going forward is really stark, actually. I think everything we know about mainstream Jewry is likely to change. So the politically and religiously moderate, commonly engaged, affiliated, passionate about Israel and the Jewish people, but also university educated and fully involved in British society. That profile, if you like, seems to me to be the profile looking at the sociological and the demographic data that is most under threat. And the middle ground, of course, has really been the mainstay of British Jewry for decades. So the implication of it is that everything we know about the organisational infrastructure, the leadership, the way this community functions is showing signs of decline.
We absolutely have the capacity to reverse the decline and make this a strong and vital and dynamic place. The intervention that has the most impact on a young person's Jewish identity and commitment is in fact a long-term programme in Israel, and that's why we are so committed to strengthening and supporting and developing these programmes. The young people who come back from gap year represent the very best of our capacity to build a strong, dynamic and creative future for British Jewry.
My connection to Israel was given so much more colour and depth because of the experience that I had on gap year in Israel. Not just the seeing of different cultures and different faces and experiences as you would do on a trip with your family or school, you really become immersed in the culture and in the environment. I needed to find a way of repaying the people that encouraged me and drove me to go to Israel. Since I got back from my experience in Israel, I've been volunteering with the CST and working within the Union of Jewish Students and the JSOC, as well as back here with FZY, which is the movement that brought me to Israel. I'm in this camp setting, working with kids, 14, 15-year-olds, leading activities to inspire them to be Jewish and Zionist leaders who love Israel, care about their Judaism, and are able to be inspired to do more as the years go on. We have such great kids in our community that if we can develop them and give them experiences and opportunities to understand their Judaism and develop their connection to Israel, that they can become the future leaders of our community.
If these kids actually have the knowledge that they need, we're a young country, we're a dynamic country, the future is ours. If we don't, we lose the country.
If we are unable to generate the funds to get more young people onto better educational programs, the impact on our community will be awful.
Here we have this opportunity once every 2,000 years to get it right. We don't have the degrees of freedom that others do. If we fail in the neighborhood that we live in, we're dead. So we got to get it right, we got to get it right now.
As soon as you realise the importance and the urgency of the challenge that's faced, the more that you'll appreciate why we at UJIA have to massively increase our investment in order to bring about the necessary change.